Eins.
Thank you for having me. My name is Gabriele Mayer. I am therapist researcher author for many years, working in practical applied therapy with Alzheimer patients, dementia care, accompanying caregivers, families to stop these diseases and integrate the family member, the affected person, back into the family life. Aging and geriatrics. Related to structures, grids, and continuity, it is a life system in the sum. The beginning is a grieving process course, goes through aggregation in the lived life with not recognized neurodegenerative diseases. The neurodegenerative diseases are called up also input-output efforts in less, very less. Because the triggers are break in continuity, interruption in continuity has occurred. The topic of continuity plays a major role in the life, and we are compelled to restore it immediately once it is interrupted, because continuity always allows us to live our entire lives reasonably well within structures that provide safety. The routine system helps with this. Every action, every situation that interrupts the routine, changes of lifestyle, changes of the social structures. Elderly cannot understand this, reacts with frustration, depression, are in shame, etc. They draw themselves out of the daily life, are going in isolation inside, are now no more integrated. The sensory organs are no more taking impulses of information to feed the human being brain. Carries an element of uncertainty and thus shakes our entire life system. Lifelong and grave patterns go lost. Automatically actions, brain-related steered actions, communications, words are changes through modern words. Stored patterns are then in repeat the whole time with more lower patterns. The elderly cannot take stranger or other patterns like the social environment wants that they have to do, like those ones. This triggers immense stress moments and emotional shame, nothing to do in the right way. Neurodegeneration diseases are through this in calling up. Through this, the input-output efforts go in less, very less. Loss of body image, body awareness arise from passive experiences with withdrawal from action, lack of connection, lack of the relationships. Through the lack of relationships, body image disorders, body awareness disorders, sensory organs, disturbances, deep sensitive disorders, relationship disorders of any kind, the human being is pushed into a decline of development stages. See the picture. Development of the stages in the life. There are passive experiences and provide the human being with information passive EA to be done. These are all control elements of the social environment with their passive status experience, loss of adult basis and shift to lower stages of human being development, the stages of childhood roles. Today, social structures in comparison to earlier ones don't have systems they can correspond to the possibility of those earlier times. To achieve this, today's social structures, she needs the help offered by her environment, but the social environment help is not a help. Instead, they make the human being seeking help even more helpless, until she is completely helpless and at mercy of everything. Social environment takes whole social system, provides patient. Its sociological structures, whole system provides patient. And the whole system goal goes in assumption to be forced to do first assignment through the family. Now you are the patient. Through weakness inside of the affected human being, forces compliances overtaken of the whole structure patient. It contains loss of family member role. They take away one role fulfillment after another, and in the end she is left with none of the role stages if it is systematically pursued by the social environment. She is left with only the role fulfillment of the infant stages. Aging. For an example, the question, why is the brain of Einstein in such a weight and size? Hence only the calling up brain working again through the biological and physiological proceedings of the sensory organs, calling up, which the brain cells by a functional, biological, physiological way, also calling up transmitters, transmitters in the brain. This brings the brain cells in more and more new buildings, or, according to Professor Dr. Geriatrics, with his newest brain research, growth of the brain is closely linked to the development of potential, the formation of neural connections, which are promoted by the fulfillment of needs and favorable environmental conditions. He emphasized that the brain is constantly growing as long as it can gain new experiences and satisfy its needs for autonomy and independence. Stress and anxiety can hinder this growth by negatively influences brain development. But the human being's brain are given in rest and have to live this. Using of internet guides and others. With changes of the brain substances, the entire situation produces triggers, neurodegeneration, neuropsychiatric structures. They are taken out of the social environment, are then given to geriatric, clinical, hospital, nursing home. They come with nothing of their items, only with a nightgown. Have no orientation, safeguard, security, living in stranger environment without any kind of orientation offers of their person's name, nickname, are nobody. Conclusion, hence, it is totally necessary to change the social role structures and the role of the elderly. Like they have to be intertwined in a better togetherness, rediscover their own personality to take step by step the social integration, with special knowledge of communication, for example, using older words, training offers in the fields of because loss of orientation, loss of role stages in the social environment, outworking and training of perception abilities. These have changed through frustration, stress, angst, and panic. Perception abilities to training of the 6 sensory organs to feed the human being brain cells. There is a special system of individual subjective selective processing, outworking of activating safety mechanisms by massively negative experiences and by negative social navigations. Training of the environmental to give more competence and chances of to do him herself as affected human being to do little things she can and want to do. Integration in the social system, stay at home with a little bit of help. Gabriele Mayer.